Donald Trump is panicking as Iran is directly threatening his life right now. They're threatening the entire Trump regime. Donald Trump's disastrous and unlawful war in Iran is backfiring. Iran is deploying something called escalation dominance, and they warned Donald Trump about this. Earlier yesterday, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu jointly attacked the South Pars facility in Iran, and they destroyed like this critical infrastructure that was there, this key gas field. And Iran said, okay, you do that. We're going to be attacking the kind of northern gas fields area, which are kind of connected to the South Pars facility that's run by Qatar. We're going to strike it, and we're going to take away 20% of the entire world's liquefied natural gas. This facility called Ras Laffan, which is controlled by Qatar in the north, supplies 20% of global liquefied natural gas. Iran strikes it. Qatar is absolutely furious at Donald Trump. One of their foreign ministers, spokespeople are like, we condemn in the strongest terms what Israel and the United States have done, although they act like it was just Netanyahu who did it. But the military in the United States and all of the reporting confirmed Donald Trump and Netanyahu were both involved in this. And one of the things that Iran also said it was going to do was it was going to blow up Saudi Arabian energy fields as well. And you saw these mushroom clouds over Riyadh and Saudi Arabia, direct strikes by Iranian drones there. And the Iranian head of their parliament, Ghalibaf, says we are now in what's called eye for an eye equation. You wanted to escalate. We're going to dominate you, Donald Trump. And one of the things as well that we're seeing, and I'll talk about this more in a moment, there are these drones, and nobody knows where they're coming from, circling over Fort McNair in Washington, D.C. That's where Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio are living. Most of the Trump regime cabinet now, they don't live in like neighborhoods because of all of their war crimes and their heinous conduct. They have to live and their cover up of child sex trafficking rings with the Epstein files. They have to live on military facilities and bases. So they're in Fort McNair, and there are drones over the past 10 days that have been circling, and people are like, is this coming from Iran? Is this coming from Russia? Is this coming from China? Here's what the head of Iran's parliament, Ghalibaf, had to say. He said, last night, the people of Iran foiled all of the enemy's designs. They are angry and frustrated with the people of Iran, and by attacking infrastructure, they seek to conceal their battlefield defeats. Of course, this amounts to suicide for them. An eye for an eye equation is in effect, and a new level of confrontation has begun. And here's the thing that I've always been saying about Donald Trump. His entire life, this guy is a pathetic loser. He's weak, he gets scared, and he acts all tough. But he can get outmaneuvered so easily and checkmated so easily. He is pathetic when you stand up to him. As I said before, look, E. Jean Carroll stood up to Donald Trump and beat him. Look, you've had numerous migrants stand up to Donald Trump. With all the resources Donald Trump threw at them, they were able to beat Donald Trump. Letitia James has beaten Donald Trump. Alvin Bragg has beaten Donald Trump. I mean, individuals who can stand up to him, you'll beat him if you just stand up to him and stop his bullying tactics. And so, yeah, Iran sees that Donald Trump is a loser. They do escalation dominance. And what does Donald Trump do after bombing the South Pars energy facility of Iran? Donald Trump then throws Israel under the bus. And he says the U.S. knew nothing about the strike on Iran's South Par gas field, despite all the reporting saying Donald Trump and Netanyahu were in on this together. So now Trump's trying to distance himself after the fact. Why? Because you have Qatar, yet Qatar's northern fields, its Ras Laffan facility, didn't just get hit once. It got hit twice. Iran's been hitting it all day, the same way Iran's been striking these facilities in Riyadh too. I mean, again, you just take a look at some of this B-roll we're showing of what it looks like. So then Donald Trump blinks, and Donald Trump posts the following. Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as the South Pars gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pars attack, and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's liquefied natural gas facility. No, and then Donald Trump puts this in caps. No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help or consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on the future of Iran. But if Qatar's LNG, liquefied natural gas, is again attacked, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. You're a paper tiger, bud. Nobody is scared of you right now. You have made us here in the United States look pathetic and weak because of what you're doing, your behavior. You think Iran's going to be like, oh, I guess Donald Trump made a social media post and said he was not in on it with Netanyahu, so we should stop with Qatar. I mean, what do you think? This is like some 2-bit con job real estate transaction? This is war and peace, bud. This is war and peace. You've brought the United States into this disastrous war. You've gotten over a dozen service members killed. Hundreds have been injured. You are destroying the economy. The price right now per barrel of oil is over $110. I think that will be at $150 per barrel soon. People can't afford gas here in the United States. People are suffering right now here in the United States because of you, and all you do now is beg, oh, please help us in the Strait of Hormuz, NATO. Oh, NATO, we don't need you. You're pathetic, but please help us, NATO. We don't need you, but please help us. It's just so freaking weak, and it is embarrassing, frankly, as an American, to see this in action. To the contrary of what Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio say, we've destroyed all of Iran's ballistic missiles. Wrong. Just take a look at this chart posted by Andreas Larson. Iran is firing more, and they are hitting more per shot than during the first days of the conflict. Not good. We know that Iran, with the help of Russia and China, they've gotten the coordinates for America's top anti-drone satellites in the area, and they've taken out our radars. They've taken out our satellite systems. They've taken them out. And now they're basically operating with impunity. Their militias in Iraq are showing the drones flying around, showing that they can strike wherever they want. These FPV, these first-person view drones, just flying around wherever they want to go, hitting any target they want. And look, Iran said, we are going to hit the Roslafen facility. We're going to hit the facilities in Riyadh. And they did it. They weren't bluffing. They said what they were going to do, and they did it. And Qatar's Ministry of Interior confirms it's dealing with these horrible, horrible fires. Here's a point that's not being made. The fact that these facilities now are being destroyed, this isn't like some short-term issue. This could take a decade to fix. Like, even if the war ended today or tomorrow, saying just ended, the issues, the systemic issues that are being created could take a decade to fix. And by the way, we're seeing this footage. It's very reminiscent of COVID, I feel like, where you're seeing in a lot of nations people lining up or trying to figure out how the hell they're going to get gas right now. And they're doing everything they can to just try to figure it out. And there's no gas there. That's starting to spread from these countries that are poorer than the United States in the West, but that's going to start to hit us soon. So as Donald Trump blinks, what's he doing right now? Well, the latest reporting from Reuters also is that Donald Trump is considering deploying thousands of additional combat troops to the Middle East as the military prepares options for the next phase of the ongoing war in Iran. One option being discussed for securing the Strait of Hormuz includes deploying U.S. troops to the coastline of Iran. Doesn't exactly seem like a smart plan there. Seems like the worst plan ever. But this is part of the escalation trap, which is as Donald Trump's manhood that he never had is being utterly neutered, because frankly, he was neutered to begin with and he was overcompensating. He needs to feel tough, and he's going to escalate this, and I'm going to bring my troops, and I'm going to secure the Strait of Hormuz. And he is sending our troops into a death trap. It's so obvious where this is heading, where this is going. The part that surprised me is that I think it's starting to now be understood within kind of more mainstream circles. And as you know, I mean, there were lots of people who would attack us at the MeidasTouch network and say, they're being so hyperbolic, and why are they so hyperbolic on everything? This is not what's happening. Okay, really? Let's talk about what the World Health Organization just talked about today. The World Health Organization is preparing for a nuclear catastrophe, a potential worst-case scenario for the Middle East if the conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States escalates further. UN staff are monitoring the fallout of strikes on Iran's nuclear sites and remain vigilant for any type of nuclear threat, according to WHO's regional director for the Eastern Mediterranean. The worst case scenario is a nuclear incident, and that's something that worries us the most. As much as we prepare, there's nothing that can prevent the harm that will come the region's way. And globally, if this eventually happens, and the consequences are going to last for decades, and they are preparing for a nuclear incident because this is Donald Trump's capricious, malignant, narcissistic nature. This is where things are heading. And look what he's posting. Donald Trump's posting, he's got his own regime media, New York Post. They have a headline: U.S. allies need to get a grip. Step up and help open the Strait of Hormuz. Get a grip, allies. They're not your allies anymore. You started trade wars against all of them. You tariffed them. You demeaned them. You attacked them. You called Canada the 51st state. You said that NATO never contributed soldiers to fight alongside the United States in Afghanistan when countries shed blood for the United States, had their soldiers die fighting alongside the United States. You did this war by yourself. You didn't give any notice to the Arab nations. You didn't give any notice to NATO. You didn't give notice to anyone. It was just you and Netanyahu did this thing by yourself. I'm going to do another video in the next 90 minutes or so that I'll post, because the foreign minister of Oman, who was the mediator between the United States and Iran, who was picked by the United States to be the mediator, he's been speaking over the past 24 hours and just saying the United States right now is just, really betrayed the entire Middle East. And the foreign minister of Oman says, look, even though Oman's been attacked and other Middle Eastern nations, it's Iran's only play. When Donald Trump says, I'm going to decapitate this regime, this is predictably how they were going to react. And when Donald Trump betrayed the democracy protesters in January, when there was a moral high ground and Trump said, I'm going to help you, I'm going to protect you, don't you worry, I've got your back, and then didn't have their back and allowed thousands to be slaughtered. This is one of the results of that right now as well. You have Donald Trump saying, this is the Daily Mail headline: Trump says he's not afraid of Vietnam-style ground combat in Iran. Well, as Ron Filipkowski, our editor-in-chief, says, he was certainly afraid of Vietnam-style combat in Vietnam. Donald Trump did everything he can to dodge the draft on 5 separate times, claiming that he had bone spurs. The fact that he even says, I'm not afraid to have a Vietnam-style invasion when you dodge the draft. I mean, this guy is pathetic, pathetic, pathetic. I don't know how many more times I can say it. By the way, the families of fallen soldiers in this war, they want Donald Trump nowhere near when Donald Trump brings them these cameras and tries to use the bodies and the caskets for fundraising. These families of fallen soldiers who are returning in caskets draped with American flags, they don't want Donald Trump near them at all. But Donald Trump, like the predator that he is, he keeps on taking cameras and photographing himself with the coffins. And the family is like, we don't want you. What the hell are you doing? Get away from us. I'll just show you how Fox was reporting it, where they said the families are now requesting in this latest Dignified transfer that happened yesterday that it be private. Watch what they say. Here, play this clip.
Military base when the remains of the 6 U.S. service members killed in the crash of that refueling aircraft are returned to their families. Obviously a very solemn moment. John, this is, of course, the second time since launching the war with Iran that the president will attend the solemn military ritual known as the Dignified transfer.
Yeah, we should point out that at the request of the families, the Dignified transfer is going to remain private. There will not be any cameras there. So unlike we have seen in the past, we will not see scenes of the president welcoming the heroes back home.
But did Donald Trump listen? No. Donald Trump, contrary to the wishes and desires of the family who lost loved ones in the war in Iran caused by Donald Trump's just despicable nature, Donald Trump shows up with his cameras and he starts posting and doing social media posts about it. Again, how utterly pathetic can you get, and how demeaning to the families who don't want any of this? I'll also point this out as well. Iran has been escalating its attacks, not just in some of the Arab nations surrounding it, but also in Israel. Israel has been pounded really hard by Iran. Tel Aviv, northern Israel, central Israel. It's been hit very, very harder than Israel has ever been hit before. Videos of their subway stations totally, harmed. Now look, the United States and Israel are pounding Iranian targets too. I mean, I'm not trying to act like Iran is, getting off easy. I mean, they're getting hit hard. We also know that Trump and Netanyahu targeting civilians, elementary schools with little girls being blown up, 165 little girls killed, desalination facilities, energy facilities. But Iran says, you do that, we do this. And then they carry through on it. And then Donald Trump blinked and said, I had nothing to do with it. Israel is the one who did it. And what that also teaches Iran is that they have escalation dominance over Donald Trump. And the Arab nations are seeing Donald Trump fold in real time. And they're like, dude, didn't we do a pay-for-play scheme with you? Aren't you supposed to protect us? Why do you think we were giving you for your family money and you money? You think because we like you? We don't like you. We were buying America's protection. What'd you think we were buying, you idiot? And then Donald Trump's like, I guess I'll do a tweet. I guess I'll tweet in all caps. I guess I'll do a tweet and say, please don't be mean to Qatar in all caps. Otherwise, I will rain hell on you. You look so damn weak to Iran right now, Donald. And you've made the entire United States look so damn weak, you pathetic fool, you. You are a pathetic loser like you've been your entire damn life. And you're showing right now what a loser you are. Iran knows you're a loser. NATO knows you're a loser. Putin knows you're a loser. Xi Jinping knows that you're a loser. You've brought disgrace and shame to the United States, you loser. Well, hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.